From RareGem Productions, this is your Monday morning meeting. Monday morning meeting where we take time to discuss, to get to know a little better, to explore, and to dive deeper. In our morning meeting, we're going to take some time to get to know Mediplex home care professionals.
I learned early on, money doesn't make you happy. So some people measure success, especially materialistic people, by how much money you have, how much money you have in a bank account. By working with hospice, I've seen it. At the end of the day, if I walk out here right now and I have an aneurysm and I die, all of this materialistic stuff is going to still be here. But maybe I've impacted somebody's life. Maybe I made a change. You know, those are the things, and you just can't get that and you can't measure it.
Getting to know the business that's caring for you with founder and CEO Glenda White and Chief Operating Officer Tawana Spann. We'll be right back. I'm Jade Harrell.
If you or a loved one are discharged from the hospital and need help, call on Mediplex Home Care and Hospice. With our comprehensive home health services, our professional and caring nurses and therapists will come to your home, assess your medical needs, and work with your doctor to design a plan of care. Mediplex is a Medicare certified agency, which means that Medicare will pay for your home health care needs. Remember that you have a choice in home health care. Let your doctor know that you choose Mediplex Home Care and Hospice.
Register today for the 2014 MoCan Minority Business Symposium, Bridging Rhetoric to Reality, on Thursday, May 8th and Friday, May 9th. This symposium will provide business development and partnership opportunities for small and large businesses. We will hold this event at the Union Station Hotel in downtown St. Louis. Visit mocansymposium.com for sponsorship, registration, and event information, or call 314-454-9675. 314-454-WORK. RareGem Productions proudly presenting The Positive. Need quality care and support for your loved ones with illness? Want them to live as fully, independently, and comfortably as possible? Well, come on in and get to know Mediplex Healthcare Professionals. It's Mediplex Mondays with RareGem Productions, proudly presenting, promoting, and producing positive programs with founder and CEO Glenda White.
I learned early on, money doesn't make you happy. So some people measure success, especially materialistic people, by how much money you have, how much money you have in a bank account. And I go back to say that just by working with hospice, I've seen it. At the end of the day, if I walk out here right now and I have an aneurysm and I die, all of this materialistic stuff is going to still be here. But maybe I've impacted somebody's life. Maybe I made a change where somebody can just feel, heartfelt like, wow, I just can't believe it. I remember when she did this, and I remember when she was about this. And, those are the things, and you just can't get that, and you can't measure it. I had someone say the other day, oh, I'm going to make you a lot of money. You're not going to make me a lot of money. Why would you make me a lot of money? That's not my goal. So you don't know me, because to say you're going to make me a lot of money, you're not going to make me a lot of money, because I'm not driven by money.
That's right.
I'm driven by, if I did something for somebody, did I make a difference? And that's what I communicate to my staff all the time. Did you make a difference in somebody else's life? Stop thinking about, I don't like what she did. Well, it's okay if you don't like what she did. You're getting paid while you're doing it.
Sure.
Just do your job.
Sure.
Don't worry about, I didn't like this, and I didn't like the client's son made a sexual gesture toward me. Or I didn't like that the client said, ooh, you have beautiful lips. Well, he's in the bed. He's confined.
Right.
He can't move anything but his eyes and his lips. He's not going to jump up out the bed and do anything to you. Take care of the client. Just take care, do your job. And more people do their job instead of, my staff must think I'm crazy, because some of the things I say to them, they tell me something, and I'm going to always say, something different.
You always have another side to it.
Exactly. Think of it this way. Have you looked at it this way? Have you tried this? Oh, well, I didn't try that. Well, that's why I'm the boss. Did you make a difference in somebody's life? If you're a nurse and you came out here to be nursing, and I know now with the economy and nursing seems to be the job where everybody's going to continue to work and you make so much money. No, nursing is a hard job.
Exactly.
Because you have to document everything you do nowadays with these regulations. It's a hard job. You got to make the patient better. You got to do a good job. And then you can't be biased. Mm-hmm. You can't decide today that, I just don't like anybody with blue eyes. So you taking care of somebody and everybody with blue eyes, these are the people you're not going to like. No. Mm-hmm. You have to just be a little bit different. And I know we're all human. We all have our nuances.
With nurses and with hospice healthcare, care for others, that's well beyond the norm. That takes a whole nother level of commitment and kindness and understanding. So when you say do your job, that job is no joke. I mean, it really is, because there's so much just in taking on those very personal, primal, intimate needs of another person is no joke. So when I hear you say some of the things that they encounter, you even have to get past, well, I love caring for people when it's convenient.
Exactly.
And I think what I'm hearing you say is that we are real giving, kind folks when it's not too taxing or it doesn't make me uncomfortable.
Correct.
And you're seeing past those things that make them taxing and uncomfortable.
Right.
How do you do that? And how can you see past that and it still be a matter of I'm doing something to bless somebody as opposed to I'm doing my job and I'm getting paid to do it?
Well, truthfully, the hospice nurses, they are very, very, very compassionate. And in hospice, it's difficult. It's not most times it's not the patient, it's the caregivers and the people that take you that take care of the hospice patient that the nurse has to get past.
Oh,
it's not
really?
the person itself.
It's
right to be, because watching someone die it's a traumatic experience. It's something that you don't see and people are not really comfortable with. However, the staff has to realize it's a collaborative effort. So therefore you got to bring the family into it. And a lot of times it's the family that really, really has a problem, not the patient.
Help us understand the reality of hospice. You talked about how that helped put things in perspective and change your paradigm, or at least is a key reference for your paradigm about what really matters. Paint the picture for us and help us understand exactly the reality of hospice.
The reality of hospice is, although everyone wants to stay here forever, we are not going to stay here forever. So the paradigm for me with hospice is to make sure that I leave a legacy. When people leave a legacy behind, you're leaving something behind that you help someone else. And so therefore with hospice, and I go back to talk about it because it has come home to roost because my mom is on hospice.
Okay, well, define it for us. Let's start with the very basic. When do we need hospice, and in what circumstance would we be facing that as a choice?
We need hospice when the physician states that there's nothing else that they can do medically to help the patient. And a lot of times we don't recognize it because we don't want mama to go, we don't want daddy to go, we don't want sister or brother to go. And it's just really, really hard. And it's extremely hard in the Black community because we just don't give up on our loved ones. And it's not that we're giving up, it's that we want to make sure that when they transition on or when they pass on, that they pass it on, and it's the best. It's the best type of care ever that they pass on, that they transition in. They're at peace. The family's at peace. They're taken care of medically with all of the symptoms that happen when someone is dying, whether you're increasing edema or you're short of breath. They come in, they manage you with the medicines. The nurses, hospice nurses, I have to take my hat off to hospice nurses. They are really the best. Whether they're Mediplex hospice nurses or there's somebody else's hospice nurses.
Period.
They've been trained, and the ones that's been doing it for a long time, they're just absolutely good. The doctor states that there's nothing they can do for the patient anymore.
So
there's nothing medically, and they have 6 months or less to live, provided that the disease runs its normal course.
Wow.
And no one knows, because my mom said those doctors don't know anything. And we're like, okay, Mom, you're right. They don't know anything.
What then does hospice provide thereafter? So the doctors can't do anything. What can hospice do?
Hospice manage the symptoms, whereby if the patient is short of breath, then they help manage the breathing. They help manage any type of pain, especially pain. Pain is one of the main focuses, especially if you have a cancer diagnosis or any diagnosis that will cause you to have pain. They help manage the pain so you don't suffer. Previously, before hospice was actually implemented on the forefront, people would die and they would suffer. So hospice help You're not suffering. Besides that, it helps the caregiver to understand that mom is transitioning and she's okay. It's okay for her to transition. It's okay for her to leave you here, and you're going to be okay with her leaving you here. Then also, after the patient transition, hospice continued to follow that family through their chaplaincy program for 13 months. They follow and make sure is there anything you need. And then hospice also help with a lot of social service piece, like with burial, any type of social service issues that you have. They also they coordinate with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. They work with the Peregrine Society. They work with a lot of different societies to help you bring in those services that you may not afford or you just don't even know that you're entitled to.
I would imagine that much of that is we don't know because we do not talk about it. No. We do not face this well, and many times we don't even know what all is involved and goes into it with life planning for those that are. I'm so glad to hear that there's something for those thereafter. Now, you said this has come home to roost, and your mom has had to go to hospice, so you've gotten the message that there's nothing the doctors can do anymore.
I'll never forget when the doctor came into the hospital room, and I'm a hospice nurse. I'm a home care nurse. I'm a hospice nurse. I'm in home. I'm in all of the programs that we provide. So I was in the room with my mom because I'm the oldest sibling. So I was in the room and I was reading a magazine, and I had the magazine up to my face. And but I was listening to the doctor the whole entire time. She came in and stated that they found a mass on her pancreas, and they assumed that it was pancreatic cancer. And when they said pancreatic cancer, which, if anybody know anything about cancer, pancreatic cancer is one of the worst. So I was like, oh, Lord, we're about to cross this path. So I just stood up, went over there to the physician and let the doctor know that I was a hospice administrator. I work in hospice. So she knew I understood.
But was it different?
It was very, very different, very painful when the doctor sent my mom information over the fax, and I just had her information in front of me, and he had wrote the hospice order, and it was really painful. I was sitting at my desk. I started crying. I started tearing up. It was just really, really sad because for some reason I just assumed my mom would outlive me, and she may still outlive me, but I just assumed that she would outlive me. And she was one of those healthy individuals that you would just say, well, she did everything right. She wasn't a smoker. She wasn't a drinker.
Oh, wow.
She didn't eat meat. She minimized the amount of meat. She didn't even do the chicken, turkey, and fish. If she ate chicken, it was a very, very small piece. She ate more beans and more vegetables.
Right.
I guess now hindsight, she had a lot of problems with her diabetes. So it was the pancreatic cancer, and that's the diabetes and the endocrine and all that. So those were the precursor, and that was notifying us of that. And she stated that she had some abdominal, pains, a little bit of pain. We just assumed it was an ulcer or a GERD. She's older, and a lot of times you just assume that. But my mom is in good spirit. And one of the things that my mom said that I never forget, my mom said, I have prayed to God and asked him to relieve me of this disease. And I've asked God to, get rid of this cancer. But if he does not, it's okay because I know he's still able.
That's right.
And when my mom said that, I was driving, I almost had a car accident because it just
What did that mean for you?
That means that my mom has a strong faith in God. Mm-hmm. And my mom has outlived the time that the doctor said. They said 2 or 3.
They don't know what they're talking about.
My mom left her and said, that doctor don't know the bleep what he's talking about. That doctor, because that doctor, and she's still not accepting of that diagnosis. Mm-hmm. Although, she has changed tremendously, and she's totally dependent on us, for pretty much everything. She's still walking around very weak, very feeble, very fragile. But she still has this very, very strong faith. Mm-hmm. And she'll tell, why is this happening? I don't know. I got to go to the doctor. She does not believe in it. And since the hospice has come in, she said, Glenda, my doctor sent me hospice. You didn't send this with your company, although it's my company. And she's still, okay.
Funny. What I also hear in that is that your spirit, your emotional state your faith plays a very important role on your ability to sustain. Now, you said that the hospice comes in. So is hospice, we go somewhere for hospice? Can hospice come to our homes as well?
Hospice can come anywhere where the patient is at.
Okay.
They can go to the home. They can go to the nursing home. They can go to RCF facility, where whatever you call your home. That's where the hospice can go.
Okay.
If you're living in a hotel room,
Sure.
the hospice
The
can
hospice
go to
comes to you.
and they come to you, and they also they cover certain medications, the medications that's associated with your hospice diagnosis only, and they cover certain medical supplies such as your diapers, your Depends, your beds, your oxygen. They cover that as well.
Then I'll circle back to why it was important to understand this patient beyond what you're seeing on the surface. You talk about the faith of your mom and her resilience. You know, a person can't be handled in a way that would demoralize them and still expect that to be helping them manage their way on through transition. So now from hearing you, I've learned that there's a real serious connection about how we care and are around them and their ability to accept or not accept whatever state they're in at the point of hospice. Mediplex Healthcare Professionals, LLC, strives to provide quality care and service with you in mind. Since 2002, their business is caring for you. They have skilled home health services in nursing care, physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, home health aid services, and medical social services. With 2 locations in St. Louis and Swansea. For questions and referrals, call 314-993-5580 in Missouri or 618-222-6778 in Illinois. Visit them on the web at mediplexhhc.com. This is your Monday morning meeting with Jade Harrell, another positive production of RareGem Productions, proudly presenting, promoting, and producing positive programs. Learn more at OneRareGem.com. That's OneRaregem.com. Thanks for listening.